What's up, DeFiers? Welcome back, and thanks again for tuning into another episode of DeFi Deluxe. Today we have lots of news. Let's get right into it, starting with our opportunity of the week, which is going to be Badger DAO, who is doing a second airdrop. This time it's not Badger being airdropped, but the token Digg. As you can see here, 14.5% of Digg supply is going to be airdropped to Badgers that have used the Badger app since launch. The Digg token is meant for loyalists who have been providing liquidity and farming for Digg, which is a rebasing stablecoin pegged to the price of Bitcoin, which has been built on the Badger DAO platform. It's a very fascinating concept and will be a different, perhaps new type of collateral than the previous wrapped Bitcoin. Digg will be used for allowing Bitcoin to be used for all kinds of money Lego purposes. You'll be able to use the exposure to Bitcoin price for a variety of DeFi applications. Here are some of the pools. Here you'll see that the Badger Wrapped Bitcoin Sushi LP pool is doing very well, running at around 370% a year, as well as the Badger Wrapped Bitcoin Uni LP pool, and you can stake Badger by itself for around 117 per year. You can check vfat.tools for the APYs, and this is going to be our opportunity of the week due to the ongoing farming for the airdrop. That's right, you still have time to farm in order to qualify for the airdrop. And what's even better is that the distribution is meant to give more to the little shrimps than the big whales. It's a 1.75 root distribution, though it's important to note that it is still proportional to how long you have been staking for, so you won't receive as much as others if you start out now. But there is still time, so hurry up. Also, I wanted to remind you of a bit of alpha here. Make sure to check out the CoinGecko yield farming page by clicking farms at the top, and then you'll see the top performing opportunities and their APYs. Basis Cash is currently running as our number one opportunity right now at around 6,000% yearly. That's if you stake your BAS to the boardroom. Note that I do have the degen pools light turned on, so this lists all the degen pools. You can turn that off to see all the pools and their respective APYs. And look, here's Badger DAO, 9 through 12 on the list. And remember to do your own research before jumping into any of these pools. This is not financial advice. Make sure to select subscribe below and hit the bell to be notified on all the latest DeFi opportunities. Not only am I trying to find ways for you to be able to make money in DeFi, I'm also looking for the best low cap gems that come out. Speaking of, here's what I consider a gem in our next piece of news. Earlier in one of my episodes, I talked to you about the Mirror protocol, which puts stocks on chain, also known in the crypto universe as stonks. They do this by using price oracles to represent the stock prices. Well, Mirror now has a competitor which has just launched, and they are Deus Finance. Their launch started with Coinbase Futures, where you can supposedly trade the IPO before anyone else. Now, if you take a look at their first product on CoinGecko, you'll see that it's already trading despite the fact that Coinbase IPO has not been released yet. The reason for that is that these are actually futures. So people are currently speculating as to what the price of the IPO could eventually be. What's interesting about this protocol is the fact that it's supposedly going to mirror the price of the Coinbase IPO as soon as it's released. So it's tying together speculation along with oracles that are eventually going to represent the actual stock price, putting an interesting spin on futures. In the next few months, they plan to add all kinds of stock to the platform, all pegged to their underlying ERC20 token. A rather mystifying aspect of the platform to me is that they are not going to rely on Chainlink for price oracles, but instead are going to build their own decentralized oracle networks. Of course, some hardcore Link Marines will tell you this is a bad idea, being that building decentralized oracles is no easy task. However, one of the head developers, Lafayette Tabor, has said recently in his Twitch stream that he's fully aware how hard building oracles is, and he doesn't plan to rely on only one, which has caused issues for platforms as big as Avi in the past, such as their debacle after relying on Coinbase Oracle. But Lafayette, affectionately called Lafa by his fans, says that because of certain restraints when working with companies like Chainlink, they have decided to build their own. Deus is currently riding around a $6 million market cap, making it pretty low cap, and it has a solid base of fans, which has helped to provide what I think is really some organic growth here. They also have a second token called DEA, which works in tandem with Deus, and I'll let you look more into those specifics if you're interested. Up next, what would crypto be if it weren't for super cool flashy names like Whiteheart DeFi? But that's exactly what this next platform is called. Whiteheart is planning to be an AMM that allows you to purchase tokens with additional insurance that guarantees the value of the token for up to 14 days as of launch. Super cool if you ask me. If you are an avid crypto trader, then you've probably had one of those days where you want to buy a token that you think has a good entry price and you buy it only to have the token immediately depreciate. Doesn't feel very good. Well, this method allows you to purchase and put your mind at ease knowing that the token will hold its value for at least 14 days with the hope that by the time that date comes, the token will have appreciated organically. The protocol runs on Hedgic, the DeFi hedge platform that recently partnered up with Yearn. So what you're buying essentially is an option, which is the right but not the obligation to sell an asset at a certain price by a certain date. So it uses this concept combined with hedge contracts to build what is essentially DeFi trader insurance. So they show you an example here. If you were buying ETH, you could spend an extra $20, which is 5 cents an hour, to pay for 14 days of being able to keep that price at least $522, which is the purchase price. It's a very cool concept, not to mention some insta-pumpamentals here with a token supply of only 8,888. The product launches in February, so you may be hearing a lot more about this in the coming days. Some solid growth here in the past 7 days, which makes me think that this may end up becoming somewhat of a gem. Next up, Fuel Labs is now live on mainnet and describes itself as the first ever optimistic rollup. If you follow Layer 2 or L2 technologies, you've probably discovered that optimistic rollups are one of the designs that have been gaining the most traction lately in terms of actually becoming implemented by DeFi apps. Which makes me, wait for it, optimistic when it comes to the possibilities of lower transaction fees and network congestion. Now, we don't have a pic of what the prototype looks like yet, but they are reporting that the TPS, or transactions per second, will be somewhere around the range of 1,500 to 2,000, making this a blazingly fast sidechain. I'm looking forward to hearing more about how this is going to be implemented exactly and what it's going to look like. Next, in a new world of seigniorage stablecoins, which are algorithmic tokens that attempt to stay pegged to the price of $1 without any lying collateral for support, there is an even newer type of stablecoin called fractional algorithmic, or partly collateralized and part algorithmic. Frax is that newest baby and already has their app out and usable. And if you check out the chart so far, Frax has actually been very good at staying close to $1. Here's what it looks like over 7 days. And it's currently at 99 cents with a 76 million market cap. Their site is pretty complex compared to most recent DeFi apps. As you can see, this sort of looks like an exchange. And they implement a novel mechanism in which arbitrageurs can take advantage of the price both ways. Bobby Ong from PriceGecko does a really good analysis of Frax on Twitter. He says here that the reason for the close peg is the arbitrage opportunity. If Frax is greater than $1, users can mint Frax by depositing $1 worth of USDC or Frax shares and sell newly minted Frax in the market. On the other hand, if Frax is below $1, users can buy cheap Frax and redeem them for $1 worth of USDC or Frax shares. Each hour, users can actually call the functions themselves to adjust the price, and he even goes further to say many are not realizing the opportunity that Frax shares is presenting. Kind of makes me go... Well, that's all the news I have for you this week, so stay cool, and I'll see you next time.